Welcome to the Potent Mind, where curiosity meets clarity. Ever feel like your brain has a mind of its own? Here, we explore how attention works, why it drifts, and how to train it back, gently, powerfully, and on purpose. It's not about fixing your mind, but learning to work with it. Let's get started.
Peace does not rest in charters and covenants alone. It lies in the hearts and minds of the people. John F. Kennedy. Now we're going on to sadness. When you feel sad, where do you feel that in your body? Many people have difficulty with this. Remember a time when someone you cared about, or perhaps a pet, died, or was otherwise lost or gone. If you get into worthlessness, that's not sadness. If you feel hurt, or go, "Why me?" that's not sadness. Think of a sad movie. What's the saddest movie you've ever seen? Most people describe sadness as in their heart. As you bring a sad event into your mind, focus on the feeling in your heart. What does it feel like in the heart when you're sad? Like something is missing. Like an emptiness or loss. Like a piece of you is missing. That's physical. When we are sad, we may feel like crying. Many people confuse depression and sadness. Sadness is about loss. The impulse to cry is part of healthy sadness. Your head, your brainwashing, may tell you that you shouldn't cry, that crying is for babies. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get out of your head, back into your body. When we lose someone dear to us, it's normal to feel like crying. There are times to avoid showing the impulse, for example when you're working, and other times when it's productive to express. For expressing this emotion appropriately, there is reward and survival value, and it helps us heal and let go. Feeling, expressing, and letting out sadness is the most important part of accepting what we can't change. It usually will elicit others around to get close, show support, and hopefully other socially appropriate ways that we console and boost each other's spirit. Expressing sadness and grief to others usually elicits closeness and caring, whereas expressing hopelessness, helplessness, and worthlessness elicits pity and sometimes disgust, and will alienate others over time because it induces the same negative states in them as well. When ego, self-esteem, and judgment get in the way of sadness, they block up the pipes. Worrying about whether your sadness or tears are okay, or how other people might judge, blaming yourself or others, spins you off all over the place and prevents the working through of the sadness. Much of the survival value of love is obvious. Some of it's less obvious. First, what does love feel like in your body? Think of someone you love, non-sexual love. Let yourself imagine being close to this person, safe and accepted. Most people would describe the feeling of love as warm, a feeling of openness, connectedness, a desire to do something for the other person, sometimes an impulse to hug or to be close. Expressing your loving feelings and impulses when and where appropriate can reap enormous benefits. There are from 5 to 7 different types of love described depending where you come from. These are the common aspects, be it sexual or non-sexual love. Love and compassion are siblings. The sensations and messages in our body are similar. These feelings come with the impulse to connect and reach out to others. Judgment is suspended. Listening to these impulses and handling them in socially acceptable ways helps us pursue our passions and find fulfillment. Learning good communication and social skills can help to turn a Cinderella into a princess or a frog into a prince. If you're having trouble finding love and connection in your life, rather than going the route of doubting yourself, feeling worthless or inadequate, go out and learn some new people skills. I'll provide some resources for you. If you continue with this series, you'll learn how to feel better about yourself, get back into the student mode, and learn new approaches. In Buddhism, there's a lot of talk about compassion. They talk about love and compassion being antidotes for anger. Who wants to feel love and compassion? I'd rather be angry. It makes me feel right. It makes me feel better than the other person. They're wrong. Why should I feel compassion towards them? Let's get back to what it felt like when you allowed yourself to feel love and compassion towards someone you felt worthy of your love and compassion. What happens in your body? It's a pretty good feeling. It's peaceful, warm, relaxed, positive. Now let's get back to the incident you thought about earlier when we were talking about anger. Remember what that anger felt like? Hot, boiling, like a coiled snake ready to spring and lash out at others in negative ways. Very uncomfortable. Even though mentally we feel like we're the good guy and the other person's the bad guy. Now when you need to be a coiled snake and lash out at others to protect yourself, sometimes that's appropriate. Sometimes it's just important to know that you're protesting and consider other less aggressive actions you might take that would be useful. Either way, once you've decided it's no longer useful for you to feel the anger, as justified as it might be, you may choose to let go of the uncomfortable emotion. Not for the other person's sake, but for your own selfish reasons, you may choose an antidote for the anger. Compassion is handy and works well. It takes a little work, but once you switch into that mode, the anger dissolves. You can get on with your day. Do it for yourself. When we're angry, physically we get agitated, pumped up, tense, ready to snap. Imagine the toll that takes on your body, your energy levels, your cardiovascular system, GI system, and hormones. Now imagine feeling compassion for a baby, an elderly person, or someone in a movie. What happens in the body? Relaxation of the heart, muscles, and GI tract. Which state is healthier for your body? What would you rather feel? You have a choice. Generate compassion. Do it for your body. Of course, these are not the only reasons we should feel compassion. Do you have any doubt that if there were more compassion in the world, it would be a better world? We can only work on ourselves. Expression of emotions tends to generate similar emotions in others. Anger generates anger. Fear generates fear. Sadness, sadness. Again, survival value for the tribe. We all have the option to make the world a better place by feeling, showing, generating, and regenerating love and compassion. The technique of choosing compassion also works well when you're beating yourself up and you notice that that's unproductive, which is almost always. Purposely drawing out positive emotions to replace negative ones becomes very workable once you decide you really want to do it. I'll teach you several ways. Remember, you will function and learn most effectively if you're not kicking or judging yourself. The alternative is the concept of pay Joe, accepting the consequences, paying Joe, learn from what happened and move forward. We don't make it about self-worth. Mind gem number 15. Do you really want to be angry? The point of number 15 is that, mind gem number 16, we can change the way we feel when we want to. It takes training, but anybody can do it. The Dalai Lama explained a very interesting way to cultivate compassion. He says to start with insects, which are the most difficult to have compassion for. Imagine that they deserve a life free of pain and suffering. Next move up to reptiles, birds, and eventually work up to people. Not just other people, but yourself also. This is an example of exercises that gradually strengthen parts of our brain that we probably don't use enough. Benefits of this exercise will extend into many areas for you. Mind gem number 17. Feeling compassion is good for your body, mind, and potency. Cultivate compassion. The next series of gems will be about enhancing your ability to practice mindfulness.
Thanks for listening to The Potent Mind. If today's episode sparked insight or helped you refocus, consider subscribing and sharing it with someone you care about. For more resources or to connect, visit thepotentmind.com. Until next time, be kind to your mind.